3 of 𝐿𝐼𝐴𝐺𝐻𝐿's best engineers quit in a single week. Not for more money, not for a better title. The exit interviews all said the same thing. Their manager was always busy and never actually there. Amos was not lazy. He was not indifferent. He was not checked out. He was working 70-hour weeks, logging on at 5 a.m. to catch his European developers before they signed off. Back-to-back meetings until 7 p.m. Spreadsheets open on his laptop at 11 p.m. And somehow, not one of his 11 engineers felt like they had a manager. The exit interviews told him something he had never considered. His engineers did not need more of his time. They needed a different kind of presence. The kind that only becomes possible when you stop spending 70 hours a week doing work that a machine could do better. 12 months after those 3 resignations, Amos was managing 11 direct reports across 4 continents with less stress than he had experienced managing 5 people the year before. Team velocity up 25%, 0 resignations. And a calendar finally cleared for the work that actually matters. This is how he did it. Part 1. The problem. To understand what Amos built, you need to understand what was destroying him. His day started at 5 a.m. Not because he was ambitious, because his European developers were finishing their shifts and he needed to catch them before they logged off. 2 hours of alignment calls. Verbal status updates from engineers in London, Berlin, and Warsaw. Updates that Amos then spent his mid-morning manually retyping into a master tracking report for his executive superiors. By the time his local team arrived, Amos had already been working for 5 hours. His cognitive capacity was gone, and his afternoon was already full. Sequential one-on-ones, tactical emergencies, urgent approvals that could not wait. Every conversation that should have been about career development, strategic direction, and long-term growth, hijacked by the operational fires that his tracking system had failed to catch before they became emergencies. He had become the most expensive administrator in the building, and his best engineers, the ones who had joined to be challenged, developed, and led, were starting to notice that nobody was actually leading them. Part 2. The crisis. The breaking point came during a quarterly business review with the executive board. Amos had spent 40 hours, a full working week, manually assembling the data deck that would summarize his global team's performance for the quarter. 40 hours on a document. That represented work his team had actually done. He walked into the boardroom, set up his presentation, and within the first 10 minutes, discovered that 2 of his primary performance metrics were already wrong. He went back to his desk that afternoon and pulled the retention data. 3 of his top engineers had updated their LinkedIn profiles in the past 30 days. 2 had taken recruiter calls from competing technology companies. 1 had already scheduled a final interview. His department was not suffering from a lack of talent or funding or strategy. It was suffocating because the administrative tax of tracking the work was preventing him from actually leading the people. Part 3. The experiment. Amos gave himself 3 weeks of late nights to build something he called his Leadership OS. Not a better spreadsheet, not a new project management tool. A complete intelligence layer, designed to automate 80% of his repetitive coordination work so he could focus the remaining 20% entirely on the work that only a human can do. The first breakthrough came in meeting intelligence. Every team video session, whether synchronous or asynchronous, was automatically routed to a natural language model that did something no transcription tool had ever done for Amos before. Instead of spending hours reading meeting minutes and chasing verbal updates across time zones, Amos began every morning with a 5-sentence intelligence summary. The exact coordinates where his human intervention was needed, nothing else. But the first version had a critical flaw. The system generated too many alerts, too many automated check-ins. Engineers who had been hired for their autonomy started feeling monitored rather than supported. 2 of them mentioned it directly. Amos realized the most dangerous version of AI management is one that replaces human micromanagement with algorithmic micromanagement. He recalibrated the entire system, raised the threshold for every alert, tuned the parameters to match the distinct working styles of each individual developer, until the system only surfaced a notification when a major metric broke constraint. Management by exception, not management by surveillance. The engineers stopped feeling watched, and Amos stopped drowning in data. Part 4. The Pivot. The real breakthrough came when Amos applied his leadership OS to performance reviews, the most dreaded cycle in corporate management. 2 weeks of manually gathering historical data, pulling project records, reading through months of meeting notes, trying to reconstruct an accurate picture of 12 months of work from memory and incomplete documentation. Amos automated the entire data gathering phase. His system parsed 12 months of code contributions, peer review notes, project velocity metrics, and historical performance data, and generated a comprehensive capabilities matrix for each engineer before Amos sat down for a single review conversation. He then dismantled his synchronous update calendar entirely. His global team shifted to an asynchronous brief structure. Amos recorded short voice memos that his system automatically transcribed, formatted into prioritized action items and routed to the correct time zones, without a single scheduling conflict, missed handoff, or time zone miscalculation. Then came the conversation that told him the system was working. A senior developer, one of the most technically cynical engineers on the team, paused during a one-on-one and said something Amos had never heard in his management career. He said Amos had become the most present and technically aligned manager he had ever worked for in the enterprise. That engineer had no idea that Amos had spent 0 minutes that week manually tracking project status. Every minute he had saved on coordination. He had invested in studying that engineer's technical documentation, understanding his actual blockers, and preparing to remove them. The system did not make Amos a better administrator. It made him a better leader. Part 5. The result. The results arrived steadily over the following months. Team product velocity increased by 25%, without adding headcount, without extending working hours, without a single new hire. Amos was managing 11 global direct reports with less personal stress than he had experienced managing 5 people the year before. 0 resignations in 12 months. The engineers who had been updating their LinkedIn profiles stayed. The recruiter calls stopped being returned because their manager had finally shown up. A typical Tuesday morning now begins with a 30-minute review of his automated intelligence pulse. He knows where every project stands, who needs support, and where the blockers are, before his first conversation of the day. His primary hours go to cross-functional alignment and long-range workforce architecture, the strategic work that had been neglected for years while he was manually retyping status updates. His afternoons are dedicated exclusively to career mentorship and the kind of deep interpersonal development that turns good engineers into exceptional ones. He broke the linear relationship between the size of his team and the consumption of his life. His executive leadership noticed. His operational model was promoted across the wider enterprise as a new standard for global team management. The man who lost 3 engineers in a single week became the manager that engineers requested to work for. Part 6. The Lessons. The leaders who will run the largest and most profitable organizations in the next decade are not the ones with the highest endurance for administrative work. They are the ones who recognized earliest that administrative coordination is a mechanical utility, and mechanical utilities belong to software. True leadership has never been about tracking status. It has always been about developing people, clearing their path, seeing their potential before they can see it themselves, making the strategic calls that change the direction of a team when the data alone cannot tell you which way to go. AI can tell you that a project timeline has slipped. It cannot tell an engineer why their career matters and what they are capable of becoming. That gap between what a machine can track and what a human can inspire is where great management actually lives. Amos did not transform his department by working harder inside traditional management paradigms. He won by engineering an infrastructure that made standard administration obsolete, so he could spend every available hour doing the work that infrastructure can never replace. If you manage people, at any level, in any industry, here is the question worth sitting with this week. How many hours did you spend tracking work instead of leading people? Because those are not the same thing. And the difference between them is the difference between a manager people tolerate and a leader people follow. That question changed Amos 𝐁𝐞𝐥𝐲𝐬𝐚's entire career. It might change yours too. New episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. Subscribe and follow along.